any cock-ups, I'm editing it because it's already on record. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am joined today by the one and only part of the yeah reload.
Rewind.
Reload. Give it a go. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am joined today by my good friend Callum Sanderson from the Sanderson Show, where we will be previewing UFC 310, the final numbered card of the year. And the UFC is going out with a bang because 310 is looking pretty stacked, main card and prelims. Obviously, unfortunately, it wasn't not going to be headlined by Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. However, it's going to be headlined by Alexander Pantoja and the debutant Kai Asakura. Callum, how are we doing today?
I'm good, bro. I'm really looking forward to this card. I don't think it's that top heavy, but in terms of the pacing of the whole card from early prelims right up to final fight of the night, it's a really good card.
Oh yeah,
some
definitely.
Big names as well.
Hey, there's some big names on the prelims. Some not so big names on the main card that I'm sure we'll touch on it. But any fight on the main card, all the prelims that like stands out as like a must watch.
Aljamain Sterling Evloev. I think that has massive implications for 145 division. Still don't know why the hell that's not on the main card. I think it's a disgrace. I'm gonna be
those two have been going back and forth, by the way. Those two have been going back and forth. Sterling's like, well, maybe Dana hates Evloev more than he hates me. And then Evloev has basically blamed Sterling for the fact that they're on the prelims. So basically, they're just blaming each other, really.
Yeah, it's just not a good look for the UFC, in my opinion, and the fact that you've got this one and it's on the prelims. I think the reason they've done that is because they expect to be a grappling heavy fight, and obviously it's all about excitement now in the UFC, it seems, as opposed to merit and earning it. But yeah, that's why I think it's happened. But again, it doesn't sit too right with me, if I'm going to be honest.
No, definitely doesn't sit right with me. And I think the most obvious one that really stands out to me is obviously the co-main event. The two undefeated fighters in Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Garry.
Yeah.
Look, everyone knows that I've had my little dislike towards Mr. Ian Garry.
A little bit.
I just don't like some of his antics.
Yeah.
I've not liked the way that he's performed in his last couple of fights, and then he's hit the mic like he's put in like a stellar performance, and I'm like, have we watched the same fight? Like, have we watched the same fight? Like, I thought the Jeff Neal performance poor. I thought the MVP performance wasn't great. Neil Magny wasn't great, especially the Neil Magny Jeff Neal fights. Like top contenders or top wannabe contenders, you're going through them with some style points.
Yeah.
Ironically, like Shavkat, who has fought Magny and Neal, finished them both. It's sort of interesting because you know how people like
when you said Magny and Neal, I was thinking it used to be about the same person, but obviously Jeff Neal, Neil Magny, I get it.
Yeah, because how that would have not sounded right, but it's very interesting, right? Like people have gone, look, who's Shavkat and no, who's Ian Garry for? Who's Ian Garry for? And like when you look at the guys' opponents, they are pretty similar. Like, look, Ian Garry's last fight was Michael Venom Page. Shavkat's last fight was against Wonder Boy. Both veterans, veteran strikers, and then both Ian Machado Garry and Shavkat, they both fought Jeff Neal and Neil Magny. See, got it right this time.
Yeah.
Shavkat got the finishes. Ian Garry got the decision. But I do feel like in this,
I have no.
In this, yeah, I can still hear you. I just feel like in this fight, like for me, it's a win-win, regardless of the result, because we're gonna see this fight again. like in the future, just on how talented these gentlemen are. Like, we are going to see this fight again. Okay, if either guys get smoked, we're probably not going to see it for quite a long time. But
Yeah,
if it's a close, drawn-out fight, we are definitely going to see it again soon.
I completely agree. I mean, Ian Garry, I think, just turned 26 or 27. How old Shavkat?
Shavkat is 30.
Yeah, they'll see each other again, maybe in about 4 or 5 years, maybe even before that. I reckon maybe in the next 3 years they'll probably see each other again, because
Definitely.
the way the division's going, it looks as though Kamaru, Colby, and Leon, they're phasing their way out of the division. That opens
Yeah.
up 3 spots in the division. Now, obviously, you got people like Morales, you got Prates, you got some
Oh,
young, hungry killers coming through. But Shavkat, Garry, I expect these guys to be at the top of the division for a while. So I
yeah,
expect them to face each other again.
100%. But let's start at the top of the card. Let's start at the top of the card. The main event. Alexander Pantoja making his third defense.
Yeah, so he beat Moreno, Royval, Urseg, and now this will be a third defense.
Yeah, so he's making a third defense against debuting. I think I've said it correctly. Kai Asakura from Ryzen. Obviously, it's got a massive following out in Japan. I think when people see the name, they go, "Who?"
Yeah,
Like, why hasn't any other contender really got an opportunity?
yeah.
The reason is because Pantoja is cleaning out the division, something that he has done. He is 9-0 against the top 10.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely insane, by the way. And he is one finish away from tying Mighty Mouse in flyweight finishes. So he's on the way to GOAT status in this division, right?
Whoa. Over
He
Mighty Mouse.
It said he's on his way to GOAT status if he carries this on. If he carries this on, if he gets a finish, ties him, gets another finish, he's got more finishes than Mighty Mouse. I'm not saying that he is better than Mighty Mouse, because one of the things that Mighty Mouse did, he did jump up a division, had some fights at bantamweight. That's something that I think is going to happen with Pantoja. He's 34, so he's going to hit the dreaded 35.
Yeah.
Curse. You hit 35, you don't win belts, or you lose your belt. He's got 5 losses, all by decision. He's never been finished. His last loss was against Askarov, who's no longer with the UFC. That was back in 2020. Since then, he's got wins over Cap Royval twice, Brandon Moreno, Alex Perez, Steve Erceg. And I don't think you did the watch along for 301.
No, I was in Jamaica for that.
Because you're in Jamaica. And not gonna lie, that was the first time that we've sort of seen him slow down a lot. Because he has been in multiple wars over the years. And we always say, like, when fighters are known for having a granite chin, there is an expiry date for that chin. When it goes, it goes. And Pantoja was a lucky guy to get that belt. I think the fact that they were in Brazil. If he wasn't in Brazil, then that could have been a very different. It could have been a new champ, but he also lost to Figueiredo back in 2019 as well. They're probably going to rerun that back if he jumps up a division. But
do you know how many good fights there's been, but just it wasn't just promoted? Like Pantoja versus Figueiredo, that, like, if that was done now, people would be losing their mind over it.
Absolutely. Like, I just like, what do you think about this fight? Because obviously people obviously were a bit, why are you giving a debutant a shot at the belt? What does that say about the rest of the division? The fact is that you're having to get someone from Rising.
Yeah.
The headline, like, what? What do you think of that?
I think over here in the UK and in the States, we didn't realize how big of a fighter and big of a name Kai Asakura was. I think the UFC are trying to capitalize on the Asian market at the moment. And he's probably the biggest Asian fighting star that there is available And what better way to make him a bigger star than to put him in a world title match? If he wins that world title, become his first Japanese undisputed UFC champion, and becomes an even bigger star over this side of the world as well. The issue I have with it is, what does that say to the rest of the division? Because for me, Kai Kara France was the clear favorite to get that title shot, especially after the way he dispatched Ursag. Ursag took Pantoja to hell and back. Kai Kara France starched him. I'm thinking, like, Kai's surely got to get that. And he just completely got overlooked. So I feel as though the UFC's gone down the route again of excitement, etc., rather than necessarily merit.
Yeah, I do sort of agree with that, and I do feel like the way that the division was shaping up, like look, like the top three is Royval, Moreno, Albazi. We saw Moreno absolutely school Albazi, and that was sort of put a spanner in the works, because if he would have beaten Moreno, Albazi would have been the next guy. I think Tatsuya Taira.
That fight with Royval was sensational.
Yeah, and like he lost that fight, obviously, and that pushed him down the pecking order, because you're not going to run back a trilogy when the champ is 2-0 against him.
Comfortably 2-0 as well. It wasn't a close fight.
2-0 as well. And obviously, you got other guys like Asu Amalbayev at number 7. Obviously, you got Manu Cape, who's already fought him, and then you've got the likes of Bruno Silva, Charles Roldan, Matt Schnell, who I think has already lost to him. Not too sure.
I think Pantoja KO'd Schnell.
So obviously, you talk about the fight. What does Asakura need to do to win this fight?
So Asakura is a longer fighter, the Ranger fight. He's got to keep Pantoja on the end of his jab and the end of his kicks. Throwing kicks is risky with Pantoja, because Pantoja catches and kicks and takes people down so well. And once he gets you down, he's extremely dominant from top position. Pantoja does get hit a lot though, and Asakura's got a lot of power. So if you're Asakura, you want to try and keep him at range. You want to pop off at him, and you want to try and hit him with stuff that's hard and fast to try and earn his respect early on into the fight. Maybe force him into a couple of takedowns where you can throw some knees and uppercuts up the middle, and then start really implementing your game plan. But I think he's got to avoid being taken down early.
Yeah, and I know people are probably thinking, oh, this guy, he's got no takedown defense whatsoever, but there has been footage of him doing the wrestling takedown defense against Merab, and Merab's been taken down. So this guy,
how hard was Merab trying though? That's
the thing, that I don't think that he was, I wouldn't say trying hard enough. It's just like it's just a bit of training, so you don't really know how hard they're really pushing in training and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but Asakura wasn't taken down, so that's probably definitely in my eyes thinking, okay, maybe he's got more of a chance than people are giving him credit for. I know our good friend Jamie Phillips said that Asakura is getting smoked. Pantoja is going to beat him.
I had that same feeling as well. I don't see how Kai beats. I know I just explained how he does beat him, but I don't think Pantoja fails to deal with that attack.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Like, if you're the rest of the division, you need Asakura to win. You need Asakura to win, because then it opens up like guys that are sort of like can't get a title shot because they've already had a couple of goes, are like, yes, a new champ means I'm going to get another opportunity. But if you're Pantoja, like, look, if Pantoja beats Asakura, if he wants to go, I want to jump up a division, then he's more than earned his right, because he can literally go, find me a proper number 1 contender that I've not faced yet. I'll let you fight it out, and then I'll take the winner of.
I still think Kai Kara France deserves that title shot against him. I think if he beats him and Kai Kara France, then it's without a doubt, it's 30.
Well, that one was the tricky one, because Kai Kara France said like he's not injured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes no sense why that happened.
But it's crazy. But I'll get a prediction. Are we seeing and still?
I'm going Pantoja, 3rd round submission.
I've been burnt the last few months. I've made some very ballsy Landy.
You predicted with your heart instead of your head.
Yeah, I predicted with my heart with Stipe, with Leon. But I'm going to use the brains this time, and I'm going to go Pantoja by unanimous decision.
That's fair.
I think that's the safe bet. I think that's the
Yeah.
safe bet. But moving on. But let us know, guys, in the comments below who you think's going to win the main event. Is it going to be Pantoja or Asakura? Let's touch on the co-main event. We touched on it briefly. It's like this is probably my fight to watch.
Just gonna blow my nose. I'll be 1 sec.
Yeah, no problem. So the co-main event, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Garry. Yes, we have already briefly spoken about it already because for me, this is the most intriguing fight for me on the card. Both undefeated fighters, both have trained together a couple of years ago. Obviously, Ian Machado Garry has admitted that, look, Shavkat did tap me out in training. And for me, this fight's a win-win for either fighter, providing no one gets smoked in the first round, right? Because it's a great opportunity for one of the fighters to take the undefeated 0 off. It's a great way to cement yourself as the number 1 contender to Bilal Muhammad's welterweight championship. They will fight again in the future because for the belt, because like let's say whoever wins beats Bilal convincingly. Bilal doesn't get a rematch, and then the loser wins their next fight. Boom, you get the rematch. Undefeated champion versus the challenger. So there's lots of different ways to see how this can go. But with regards to the fighters, look, Shavkat, 18 wins, 18 finishes, does not need the judges. And hey, trust me, if you've been looking at the way judges have been judging this year, you can probably see why he probably wants to finish all of his fights, because some of the judging this year has been extremely, inconsistent. But with regards to Ian Garry, like I've mentioned it before, he's not been my cup of tea. It's not because I've not been happy with some of his performances, but in the octagon, because people go, "Oh, look, who's Ian Garry really fought?" And oh, look, Shavkat's got such a way better resume in the UFC than Ian Garry. But when you look at both their resumes, yes, Ian Garry's had more fights in the UFC than Shavkat. But when you look at some of their opponents, they're pretty much identical. Both have fought Neil Magny, both have fought Jeff Neal, both have fought veteran strikers, but only one of them's got finished in all 3. So, yeah. What do you think, Callum? The narrative for this fight.
I think this is a way harder fight for Shavkat than people think.
Yeah. Like, hey,
Ian Garry's not the most exciting. He's a
like,
tough day in the office for people, though.
Hey, I joking went, oh yeah, Ian Garry's getting smoked. It's like a bit of banter because it would be funny if he got smoked and he got finished. But let's be real here. Like if Shavkat can get the finish, then Bilal Muhammad, he's coming for your belt. But yeah, people are way too easy to write off Ian Garry. He is a tough cookie. I hope the cardio is good because he's going to need to be running around the octagon.
I think Ian Garry wins.
You think he wins?
I do. No, I do.
Think he wins? How do you think he wins?
I think he wins by unanimous decision. I think he keeps Shavkat at range, doesn't engage with takedowns and doesn't engage with clinching and all that stuff. I think he keeps Shavkat at range and picks him off at range. It's not going to be exciting. It's not going to be fan friendly. You'll probably hear the crowd start booing after 3 rounds. But Ian Garry will pick him apart, I think, and he'll win the unanimous decision.
Do you think him having Charles in this corner, Charles Oliveira, does that make any difference? The fact that he's been spending most of his camp over in in
No,
like
not
Brazil,
not
Thailand,
particularly
really?
not in terms of technique or anything like that. But I think in
Or
terms
maybe
of
like
just having the confidence,
strategy-wise.
strategy wise, maybe. I just think Ian Garry. Look, he's not the most fan friendly fighter, but what he does do is know how to win. He knows
Hmm.
how to win, and he'll implement the strategy that's needed to win. He doesn't really care about being the most exciting fighter or the most fan friendly fighter, because really and truly, where does that really get you? Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
the time that gets you
it's all about
stopped and knocked
legacy.
out. It's legacy for him. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to choose the easiest route to victory, and the easiest route to victory is not to engage with him on the feet or not to engage with him on the ground, and pick him off at range. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's the rangier fighter. So why
Hmm.
not do what you're really good at and just keep him at range, pick him off, and then get your victory and get your number one contenders title shot, or get your title shot.
The thing is, like when this fight was first announced, I was so confident Shavkat was going to finish him, and then I just rewound back to when Shavkat fought Jeff Neal.
Mm,
Jeff Neal, who put it on him? Like I think Shavkat was maybe down on the scorecards in like the
yeah,
fourth round, and basically pulled out the finish, like out of not out of nowhere, but
yeah.
pulled out the finish to get the win. And people are saying, "Phew, a tough fought win against Jeff Neal." And I'm just thinking about if Ian can establish the jab nice and early, you use his
And the
range,
leg
which he's
kicks.
definitely got,
He's
and the
got
leg
really good
kick,
leg kicks as well.
and plus he has been trained with Charles. We know how deadly the Charles Oliveira leg kicks. Charles does the leg kicks.
Yeah.
Um, it's such a tough one. It's literally if you flip the coin and it landed on either side, I'd be happy with either decision.
I
But
understand why Shavkat's the favorite as well, though, because 18 wins, 18
yeah,
finishes, like
Shaka
that's incredible in MMA.
the favorite
Like
because he has got all the wins by finish. Doesn't need the judges' scorecards whatsoever.
yeah,
Um,
that's crazy, isn't it? Like when you actually sit back and think, that's actually insane.
I know, right? You say Ian Garry win by decision.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think I might have to join you.
Mm.
I have to join you. I think
I
if
never would
Shavkat
have predicted you'd ever predict that.
no, I just think the fact that if Shavkat is hanging on the fact that he tapped him out in training 2 years ago,
It's risky.
then that's a risky game. But speaking of, I want to say speaking of risky, but this, yeah, is it risky? I don't know. But the heavyweights, Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov, rerunning their bout back in 2021 when Cyril won by unanimous decision. Obviously, this is probably a number one contenders, big brackets, air quotation mark for
Technically, it's the number 2 contenders match, isn't it?
technically the number two contenders bout for whoever holds the UFC
Well,
heavyweight belt, because God knows what's happening in that division at the moment. Obviously, Cyril Gane did his interview with Ariel Helwani, basically said like, "Look, Tom's been ducking me, didn't want to fight me in London, never received a contract to fight him." So sort of stirring up an inevitable clash between the two gentlemen,
yeah.
which I wholeheartedly disagree with Cyril. Just because Tom Aspinall did a video, said that he
Yeah.
was asked to fight Cyril by the UFC, and Tom went,
Cyril
"The
turned
UFC
it
is my
down.
bosses. You know, the boss wants me to hit this guy, I'll fight this guy." But Cyril was off filming the cage on Netflix.
Even before that, though, he's turned down fights against Tom before.
Yeah, because Tom was the up and comer, Cyril was the guy fighting for the belt, and now since Tom got the belt, Cyril's like, "Oh, we, I want to fight Tom, please."
The thing is, the UFC is kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because if Cyril wins, everyone's like, but he got smoked by Jones and Ngannou. So if he gets smoked by Aspinall, everyone's like, well, that's meant to happen. If Volkov wins, you go, okay, he didn't get smoked by Jones. It hasn't been smoked by Ngannou. It has been
hasn't
smoked by
fought Jones
Aspinall.
and hasn't fought Jones.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, who's the more reputable person to win this? Because from a marketing standpoint, you probably go Cyril Gane, but from a fighting standpoint, if Cyril Gane goes out there and loses to Tom Aspinall after losing to Ngannou and Jones, then he's always going to be seen as that second tier guy. Whereas Volkov's only fought one of them, lost, could come back and fight for the the disputed championship.
I just feel like with this one, like, look, like we know what Volkov is, like what type of a fighter he is. Obviously, he suffered that really brutal defeat to Tom Aspinall. He's gone back, reinvigorated himself, which I always admire when fighters get like a really brutal loss and then they've bounced back. And
Yeah.
obviously, highlighting his biggest win in recent time was over Sergey Pavlovich, who before
and
the
over him, I think he was over him's last fight as well.
What, over him's last fight? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I remember staying up to watch that as well. But I do feel like it's a bit of a tricky one, really, because that win over Pavlovich, because people really took notice over that Pavlovich win, because Pavlovich was supposed to be the guy.
Shall I tell you what Volkov's problem has been with that win? Is that we saw Aspinall KO Pavlovich. So everyone automatically now thinks Pavlovich is a bum, when really and truly Pavlovich was the guy. He was starching everyone.
Yeah, like he was the guy that should have been fighting John Jones.
Yeah.
Because people all assumed, oh, Sergey's going to be smoking from Aspinall.
Yeah. I mean, I think I predicted a Tom Aspinall win, but I did say I wouldn't be surprised if Sergio won, because it's a 50-50 fight. Like, these are two of the hardest hitting heavyweights fighters in the UFC.
Damn,
the problem is because of how he's lost, it diminishes Volkov's win, but really and truly that win against Sergey was a very big win and a very good win for Volkov.
Oh yeah, it's a very good win, especially because his corner was doing his hair during the fight. So
I don't know what I'd do if someone did that against me.
Yeah, but I think with Volkov, like, look, let's see how much his improvement has been, because I think, if memory serves me correctly, Cyril was the far better fighter when they first fought.
He was, but the fight ended, I think, 48-47 on all three scorecards, and they all gave Volkov the first 2 rounds. So Cyril has to start a lot faster in this fight than he did in the last, or else Volkov's got a 2-0 lead going into the third. All he has to do is not get knocked out effectively, and he's won the fight or submitted.
Yes, that's true. I don't know where this fight. I don't know who picks up the result. I don't know who needs the result more. I feel like Cyril needs it more.
I think Volkov needs it more. He's older, and he knows this is his last chance at going for a belt. I've got Gane winning.
Yeah, I've got Gane winning as well.
To the speed and the athleticism, but it won't be an easy fight.
It won't be an easy fight. And look, like, the company wise, I just said earlier, damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yeah.
Because like, look, like I've always said this, like the worst nightmare for the UFC for the heavyweight division is Gane having the undisputed belt. I've said that since Ngannou's left. If Gane holds that belt, you're basically like, if your heavyweights can't beat Cyril Gane for the undisputed belt, you're basically saying Francis Ngannou is the best heavyweight in the world.
Or Jones still. That's why I say in a roundabout way, I don't think Dana would mind if it was Gane and Jones again, and Gane loses to Jones, because then he just turns around and says, well, he's lost to the GOAT. I told you he's the GOAT, and he's lost to the GOAT.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on. Moving on to the most contentious fight on the card whatsoever. Mr. Flat Earther, Mr. Seatbelts don't work, seatbelts are useless, Mr. Bryce Mitchell.
I like Bryce. He has some wild takes, but I like Bryce.
Wild takes, some country rap, with some country rap. Fighting against Kron Gracie, who last time we saw Kron Gracie put in a horror show, an absolute disaster class.
Okay, so that was against Jourdain, right?
Against Charles Jourdain.
I don't know how Con Gracie's still on the main card. Oh, in fact, I do. It's his name, but goodness,
I
from a
don't know how
fight
he's still
standpoint,
in the UFC.
yeah.
5-2, 5 submission wins. He's riding a 2-fight losing streak. Losses to Cobb Swanson and Charles Jourdain. It's not fought since May last year.
Is that how long ago that fight was?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
That was
very rusty then.
very, very rusty.
Did he have enough? Sorry to cut you. Did he have an injury or anything?
I think he might have done, because his Cobb Swanson loss was in 2019. So he took 4 years out, and now he's taking over a year out, and basically taking 18 months out.
I think Hugh Chun. I think he had to do mandatory subscription for the army though.
Did he?
I think so. Yeah. Sorry, Jack. Luke, I got to blow my nose again. Give me a sec.
No, it's fine. And obviously, last time we saw Bryce Mitchell in the UFC, I think he picked up a win. Actually, just double check. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell got memed. He got memed by getting knocked out by Josh Emmett. Absolute horror KO. Because Bryce Mitchell was absolutely fucked after that KO. And he's sort of been on the win-loss. That started when he got KO'd when he got submitted by Ilya. Then he beat Dan Ige. Then he lost to Josh Emmett. So this fight's a bit of a weird one because Bryce Mitchell is ranked at featherweight. So I'm not really sure why he would be taking Ron Gracie at UFC 310, where we know most fighters want to fight for the belt. So I don't know why. Bryce Mitchell's ranked number 13. Bryce Mitchell's 13. Are you telling me we couldn't find an Arnold Allen? A Brian Ortega, a Calvin Kattar, maybe? To fight Bryce Hall, but you're getting Ron Gracie on the main card when you got your likes of Aljamain Sterling, a former bantamweight champion, arguably a bantamweight, one of the all-time great bantamweights, on the prelims. It's an absolute shambles. Look, with regards to the fight, if Bryce keeps us on the feet, I'll keep it real short and sweet. Probably Callum will probably agree when he comes back. If Bryce Mitchell keeps on the feet, he's beating Ron Gracie. Because Ron Gracie is a jiu-jitsu guy. The Gracie last name really holds weight in the jiu-jitsu space, but let's be real. If Bryce Mitchell keeps us on the feet, he's beating Ron Gracie. I just don't know why.
Bryce even entertain
number 13. Bryce Mitchell ranked at 13. We couldn't have found him a better opponent. Yes, I know he got meaned by Josh Emmett when he got a brutal KO. Are you telling me we couldn't find him a Calvin Kattar?
I think we could have.
Gige Jikatsi?
Yeah.
The thing is, do you want
to throw him in there? Do you want to throw him in there straight away with another striker? Because he's off the back of back-to-back losses against Topuria and then Emmett. And that Emmett one was
he beat Dan Ige by decision.
Oh, you're right. He did.
Sandwiched in between.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He should be fighting someone higher ranked then. He won't fight Aljo because him and Aljo, I think, are friends. But everyone else is fair game, surely.
Well, obviously not.
Unless they're not playing ball and they're denying or they're not accepting fights or saying they don't want to fight anyone as low as 13th. But either way, UFC's got to make that decision for them, surely.
Look, if you're wanting to give an unranked guy an opportunity to step up to take a spot, or to take a number, to take the ranking, then look no further than the main card opener, Nate Landwehr versus Choi. Nate's a fan-friendly brawler. Nate the Train, baby, put some absolute wars on. Look, is he?
He doesn't do boring fights.
Is he a top 15 guy? We don't know because he's not going to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like if you saw Bryce Mitchell versus Nate Landwehr opening the main card, I'd be
then
happy with that.
Yeah, same.
No complaints. But quick prediction for Mitchell versus Gracie. I'm going Bryce Mitchell. KO.
Bryce unanimous decision. I'm going.
Nice decision. Yeah, like just having a look at, and then obviously Nate Landwehr,
Duhoi
Choi. Nate's coming off of a win against Jamal Emmers. KO back in March. Lost to Dan Ige back in 23. Then,
so it's crazy. How many times has Ige fought this year?
Too much.
Ige's a savage, man. I gotta say, he really is a savage.
Has fought 3 times this year. Beat Andre Philly, lost to Lopez, lost to Laura Murphy. Yeah, but Dan Ige beat Nate Landwehr, so maybe shouldn't run that fight back. But he's lost to Evloev, Josh Emmett, Zombie, Calvin Cater.
Big up to him, man.
Yeah, big up to him. Like, he's probably been an absolute bag this chick. Absolute bag this year. Don't know much about the two guys, but I'm just going Nate because I remember his fights better.
Yeah.
So that goes. You're looking for detailed analysis and breakdown.
You get the best here.
you get the very best here. I'm picking Nate because I remember his fight last, and he fought a good fight.
I'm like you. I don't know much about Nate. I've seen his fight of the year from last year, and that's when he came on my radar, and I was like, "Oh, this guy is an absolute savage," and that's exactly what he is. I just feel as though he can be outsmarted in there.
Definitely. Well, that's it for the main card. Let's briefly touch on the prelims. I know we touched on that earlier. Let's go with your fight, the one that you picked. Mozart Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Massive opportunity for Sterling to take that undefeated streak. Yeah, Callum's repping the boy.
I'm not biased. I'm very
impartial. No. Callum, straight down the line.
Straight down the line. Professional as it gets.
Professional as it gets. Versus the former bantamweight king, up there for one of the bantamweight goats, potentially.
Jamaica's very own Aljamain.
Jamaica's finest. Jamaica's finest.
No, again, I keep on saying it. It's a disgrace he's not on the main card. I think he goes out and does the business, though. I think he puts a pace on everywhere from early and then maintains it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he looked, even though I don't think he'll get the finish early, I think goes to unanimous decision. I wouldn't be surprised if it looked similar to how Aljo came out the blocks against Corey Sandhagen. Like trying to bully him and trying to just get at him straight away.
Yeah, look, since before he lost to O'Malley, right, Sterling?
Yeah.
So he beat Cejudo, Dillashaw, beat Yan twice, Sanhagen, Munoz, Jimmy Rivera, Brett Johns, lost to Marlon Moraes, lost to Asensio back in 2017. So this guy's elite. Killers. And I do believe this, as Mikel Arteta would say, it is a fucking disgrace, guys. Disgrace that this is on the prelims.
Absolutely.
But hey ho, the Dana White privilege is strong. We all criticize fighters when it's like, hold on, how on earth did they get in positions that they don't deserve to be in? When they be put in title shots, they don't believe.
The thing is, for us, it's annoying, but for the fighters, it probably works out better because I don't think Aljo would have got more money for fighting this fight. No, I don't think Evloev. They'd have been fighting through their contracts, so the money doesn't change even if they're on the main card or the prelim. So Why put yourself on the main card while you're watching other people get pay-per-view points for the work that you're doing when you can just finish the night early and then you can go and watch or chill out and do whatever you want? I get it. But from the UFC standpoint, I think it's wrong.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like, look, like Evloev is no slouch. Even though that he's not picked up a finish inside the UFC, like at all, like no knockouts.
Yeah, he's excellent on the ground.
No decisions whatsoever. Since making his debut back in 2019, all of his wins have been by decision.
Yeah.
This year he beat Arnold Allen by unanimous decision in January, which I thought
was a dodgy one. That
we talk about judging.
Yeah, not just that. I remember he the knee strike when his hand wasn't on the ground as well.
Knee strike, exactly, and he's not fought again since this year. Do you know what? He has been very fortunate in some of these fights, like Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
Remember the Lopez fight?
And that was short notice as well.
Short notice, and stuck it on him from the very very first sound of the bell. And look, you're right. If Adrian can put on a super quick pace, then you could be seeing Aljamain Sterling getting ever closer to him versus Ilia Topuria, which would be an interesting fight.
It'd be a brilliant fight.
It would be absolutely.
I still don't think anyone beats Ilia 45.
Wait until that fight gets made. Wait till that fight gets made. You'll be going, "Come on, Sterling."
I will be, but I just saw Ilia put down Max off the back of putting down Volk.
The same year.
Crazy work.
Crazy. I'll touch on my fight that I'm my one to watch prelim fight.
Yeah. Can I guess which one you're gonna say?
Yeah.
Weidman versus Anders.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about the headliner. The two former title challengers, the two washed.
Yeah, Reyes and Smith.
In Dominic, is it the Terminator Reyes versus Anthony?
Terminator. I think it is.
Anthony's got no more Lionheart, no more Smith with his 20 losses.
Yeah.
Obviously, since Dominic Reyes, in my eyes, beat John Jones, Dana would like to tell you that he should have beaten John Jones.
Yeah.
Dana believes that he said that he didn't beat John Jones because he admitted it at press conference.
Yeah.
Beat him. Since then, he went on a 3 fight losing streak. Since that loss to Jones, lost to Blachowicz. I remember watching that for that fight during the pandemic. Lost to KO punches after Blachowicz absolutely polarizing the midsection. The midsection.
That was nasty. That was really nasty.
It got absolutely memed off of Yuri Prochazka with the spinning back elbow. And then lost. It got memed again by another brutal KO by Ryan Spann. It took 2 years out, which was good. And then came back against Dustin Jacoby at a good level. And then,
Bruv, you know the fight against Reyes and Blachowicz, that was in 2020. That was 4 years ago.
I know, man, but he's taken beatings. He's taken some absolute.
Yeah, Jan taught him a lesson that day.
Oh yeah, Jan taught him a big lesson. And look, like, I'm a nice guy. Well, if you're a good fighter, I'm a nice guy. But if you're a guy that got a lot of chat, and you need to back it up, Mr. Lionheart.
Yeah.
Had a weird beef with Pereira for no reason whatsoever. Said he's got the certain skills that he could do to challenge him. What skills, my friend?
So I tell you what is with Anthony Smith. I don't think he says these things to be malicious. I think he probably hears how it sounds in his head, doesn't refresh it over and think, could I deliver this better, and just says it.
Yeah, he's like that friend that
No
I'd say it's
filter.
called CTE. It's called CT. That's what he's got.
Yeah.
It's like that friend's like, look, yeah, I can definitely take it. I mean, and you're like, mate, shut the
Let's get
fuck
in the
up. By
car.
the time
Yeah,
you got
let's
to do a
get in.
fight, you got done.
Yeah.
Look, we know who Anthony Smith is. Like, come on, let's be real here.
Yeah. I can't see a world where Anthony Smith wins this fight, and it's rare
No
just fall
way.
that much.
Like, look, he beat Rashad Evans, Mauricio Rua. This is 2018. He's lost to Shearer. You know when Glover was absolutely like knocking teeth out of him. Lost to John Jones, where he should have just taken the fucking easy way out, and John Jones hit him with the knee. The
Should have done it. Should have done a Diego Sanchez and Aljamain Sterling, innit?
You should have put on an Oscar-winning performance and got him a second loss on this record.
Yeah, and then rematch him for more money as a champion.
And she rematched him for more money, easy work. And then after he lost to Rakic in 2020, you know, Fair play went on a bit of a winning streak. Devin Clark, Jimmy Coote, Ryan Spann, finishes in all of them, submissions, knockouts, brilliant. Got KO by Ankalaev, lost to Johnny Walker. He's beating up my kids.
And then who else? Khalil Roundtree.
Beat Ryan Spann again.
Yeah,
got absolutely brutalized by Khalil.
that's hard to watch.
Took the undefeated run of Vitor Petrino, which was a shock. Beat with the guillotine.
That was 301 as well, right?
That was 301. And then lost to Roman Dolidze at light heavyweight.
Yeah,
Roman Dolidze
came up
took it on a week's notice.
Yeah.
Lost to him by decision. And you're talking about belts, about legacy, about... Please, Anthony, I beg. I don't say this about many fighters. I beg, my friend, it is your time has come. You need to retire.
If the fight goes how I think it's going to go, I think he has to retire after this.
He should have retired ages ago.
I agree. But this time now would be like, without a joke, you have to retire.
Yeah, because could you win against some unknowns at light heavyweight? Yes, but you said you want to fight for belts, and like I'm all for protecting fighters' health and stuff like that. Please, mate, end your career. Not everyone can be a world champ.
Yeah, I think someone will end it for him if he's not careful, and I don't want him to go out in a bad way.
Drinking out of the straw.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of abuse in the cage.
Like taking a lot of punishment out of his 20 defeats.
And the thing is, he speaks so well. He's a really good analyst and pundit. Says some wild things, but he's still a good analyst.
He's got a job for life.
Yeah,
a job for life.
Dana loves him.
Analyst, desk pundit. You got a job for life. You don't need to fight no more.
Yeah, I don't get it myself.
Fight no more, please, Anthony. Please, no need.
Yeah, I don't think this will be his last fight if it's according to him now. But if it's according to Volkov, then it will be.
According to Volkov, I mean Reyes.
Oh, sorry, Reyes. Sorry, Reyes.
Jesus Christ, Volkov.
Reyes.
And that is night.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
It's a real night.
Yeah.
Predictions. I'm going Dominic Reyes KO.
Reyes second round knockout.
I'll go second round as well. Let's end on a more positive note. You looking forward to it? Because I'm buzzing. I am. Buzzing.
This card in 311 looked really good. Like you've ended the year really well. I'm hoping you and Jay can get to do end of year awards this year. We didn't get to do it last year because little baby was born and all that stuff. Hope we can do it this year. This has been a hell of a year, and if this card lives up to what it should be, UFC have put another stellar year in the books when it comes to mixed martial arts.
And like, look, we'll touch on it in the separate video, but they're going to start next year as they should be ending this one.
Yeah.
Quality is what we've wanted, and look, I'm buzzing for the card. I'm buzzing for it. You can let the people know. Is it an early? Is it a 1 a.m.
That's the aim. That's the aim. Yeah, 1 a.m.
Yeah,
slot.
that's what I love to hear.
That's what we're aiming for.
That's what I love to hear. And you'll be able to catch all three of us on the Sanderson Show at
Indeed.
1 a.m. on a Sunday because we love this game.
We love this game.
We love this game. It is, as Callum likes to say multiple times, it will be a happy place.
It's a happy place. Saying that though, Liverpool has provided a lot of happy places this season.
Oh yeah,
this is always my happy space though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, MMA is always a happy space because they can never let you down like football can let you down.
Well, no, we won't go that far. They've let us down a few times. Let's be
real.
Yeah. But yeah, not like football.
No, definitely not. Callum, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Callum Sanderson across all social media, and also the Sanderson Show across all social media and YouTube as well, and also big up for the Sanderson Show as well. You can also find me here on Jamie's channel as well, so make sure you subscribe to Luke, Tanner, and Jamie Phillips as well, two of the most dedicated and helpful people in the whole content game as well. So show them some love and give them their flowers, man. They deserve it.
Massively appreciated. And everyone make sure to hit the like button, share button, and subscribe button on this video. Leave comments in the comment section. I will try my best to go and reply to every single one as well. Hopefully, probably won't have another video out until after the UFC. And obviously we'll be pushing on ahead to looking ahead for Fury Usyk 2. As I will be doing the watch along.
Big fight.
Fury versus Usyk 2. Because the guard is quality.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth the money. And it's going to be a great one. So watch out for that in the next couple of weeks. More UFC stuff as well, more boxing stuff because boxing at the moment is popping. Hopefully mixed martial arts. Yeah, boxing is booming. Hopefully MMA can follow. Hopefully she gets some more content out between now and Christmas. But everyone, make sure to hit the like button, share button, and subscribe button. Make sure to subscribe to the Sanderson Show. Also subscribe to Coppish as well. Both links will be in the description, as well as Jamie Phillips Football Chats link will also be in the description. Because just as Callum said, without Callum, without Jamie, I probably wouldn't be doing content. I'd be watching it instead.
Well, without you and Jamie, I'd be a mess on my channel. Let's be real about it. You falling asleep and all that.
Hey, you'd be getting no context fan TV.
I'd be getting clipped up and cooked regularly.
And sliced.
Yeah, it'd be rough.
But anyway, massive thanks for Callum for joining, and we will see you guys on Sunday. Sanderson Show, 1 a.m. UFC 310. We will see you there.
Let's go.